Hey, this is Kevin again. I thought I would add another Renaissance army to the YouTube channel. Charles the Bold of Burgundy, Duke of Lorraine, or just affectionately called the Duke. We as military collectors, we seem to migrate towards Burgundian armies and loved them. But Burgundy was just a small country smashed between the Habsburg Empire and France. And Charles, his main objective was really to be crowned king by turning this Burgundian state into a continuous territorial kingdom. But he launched Europe into a horrible war called the Burgundian Wars. His mortal enemy, he just hated the King of France. I haven't figured out quite why yet. I need to do a little bit more reading, but nonetheless, the French king paid the Swiss a lot of money, and they raided and burned and pillaged, and they were basically hired too by the Duke of Lorraine, who Charles conquered to create this continuous kingdom, and it just was a bitter, ugly war. This war only lasted really about a year and a half, which ended in the Duke's ending his life. Well, he didn't end it, the Swiss did, at the Battle of Nancy, but he never was able to beat the Swiss. They, with their juggernaut, which we talked about before, really bested the Burgundians, which in reality they probably shouldn't have. Let's take a look at the army that I built. It's predominantly Merlington. I have some Legio Heroica figures in here, and maybe even a few Essex. But to be honest, I'm not quite sure. I painted this army many, many years ago, probably 8, 9 years ago. I've added a few pieces just recently, which would be the Legio Heroica figures, and I painted probably 80% of it. 20% came from my dear friend Alex, who sent me a few figures. He had some extras, so I morphed him into the army. But I really enjoyed painting this, and most people really enjoy this army. The Charles was what I would call the warlike duke. He was a powerful, independent Burgundy, is what he wanted, but he was really a chief military innovator. He really was a person who kind of eliminated what I would call these feudal levies. Although he did pay them, they were independent mercenary bands, and he really created a standing army. He had a household army of knights. He brought in crossbows and arquebus. He was kind of a chief innovator of guns, artillery, arquebus. He had combined arms that nobody else of that time really had. He brought in Flemish pikemen, longbow from England, and really drilled his army. So, he was really an innovator in how he used these combined arms. Very, very interesting, but I don't think he was particularly a very good commander. That's my readings, which I definitely need to read more, so nobody criticize me for my lack of historical knowledge here. Give me a couple more months and I'll be more boned up on it. But he had the idea of creating a standardized flags, standardized uniforms, this blue and white. Of course, there was other dress in there, but he really pushed that, and the Red Cross of Burgundy that was put on all of the breastplates and on the knights. That's really what he was looking for, and the banners having the the cross staves in the arrows of Burgundy. He really really liked the symbol of Saint George and the dragon, the coronet. So it really is a very romantic looking army if you think about it. But Charles was one of what I would call a vastly or extremely wealthy duke, and I think because of this immense wealth, he was really able to do things that other dukes or even kings would not allow them to do. So he, was able to create a professional standing army. And the structure, the recruitment, the arms, the discipline, the proposed, I'll use the word proposed tactics on the battlefield, um, were all well and good, but it really never quite materialized. But I think that the army itself is a really fun one to paint. Um, I think both probably in 25 millimeter it would be a lot prettier than in 15. But I think I captured the flavor of what I wanted to do. Knights, um, a certain color code of blue and white, but having some other flavor of other areas that or allies that fought with him, Savoy, Flanders. So I think that it turned out pretty well. I mean, everybody's going to have to tell me what they think, but I think the men at arms, the longbowmen, pikes, crossbow, handguns, artillery, it's all included there, and no, I had a lot of fun painting it. It probably needs to be spruced up in a couple of spots. I got a little tired of painting lances, I'll have to tell you that. But the banners turned out quite nice, and I can't wait to get it on the table and see how I'm able to do better against the Swiss. Well, hey, next up is some more Italian wars. If you're up to it, thanks for listening.